Welcome to Terra Talks, where we talk about all things real estate. In each episode, we'll tackle current trends and topics of interest, both locally and regionally. However or wherever you decide to tune in, you're not going to want to miss this.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Terra Talks. I am Diana, and with me is Anna and Pam, colleagues in the property management department. Today, we're going to delve into transitioning from sales to property management. So our amazing brokerage team has just done another sale, and now you are the proud homeowner of property in Barbados. And you're probably asking yourself, what next? How am I going to use it? Who is going to help me with this? Anna, walk us through the next step from signing that dotted line, owning property, to determining how you're going to use your house and who's going to help you do it and what that looks like.
Yes, so basically there are different types of clients that we deal with. Mm-hmm. So we manage for short-term owners, we manage for long-term owners, as well as there's owner use and admin properties. And each owner has different needs. So this is where we have the short-term who are dealing with short-term clients, guests coming in from overseas. We handle the maintenance, the housekeeping, as well as dealing with guest issues.
So a short-term rental typically stays how long in the residence?
I would say between 5
days
to 7 nights or so.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Then the long-term tenants, they're more based, like they call it their home.
Oh.
So they deal with the payment of bills, as well as they have to follow the stipulations of a lease, which we manage as well. So we ensure that there's the collection of rent. You know,
Very
we act
important.
as the owner, and then there's also a category for owner use. So some owners don't want to rent their property. They just want to keep it for themselves.
Okay.
And that's fine. So we would just manage everything on their behalf. We will manage the bill payment, we manage maintenance, but they are only occupying the property.
Okay. I heard you mention also admin.
Yes.
Can you
there's-
talk about that, Pam?
Yeah, there's some people just don't want anybody in their home. They live here. We actually have clients that actually live here, and so it's our role is not really to go and visit them all the time and whatnot. They just send all their bills to us. We pay all their bills, their insurance, their land tax, all that. But we are on the other end. We're there if they need us. So like we have a whole portfolio of suppliers. You know, something's going wrong, they call us, and we'll send the person to them. So it's not a day-to-day management, but just it's a cheaper way of doing things, and we just do their admin for them.
So we've touched on short-term, long-term, admin. What have I missed?
Owner use, yes.
Talk to us about that.
Well, the owners, they want their property maintained just like if they were here living themselves, and that's basically what we do. But often they come and go. They can be snowbirds. Sometimes they come for 6 months at a time. I had one client stayed for 18 months through COVID.
Wow.
They just didn't leave.
Yeah.
And so when that situation happens and they're here 18 months, it's almost like an admin role. We step back. But during the time they're not here, we will visit the properties every week, check their water meters, make sure their toilets are run, their hot water is still going, ACs, so as if they were here, we take over and be them.
Yeah, I also had an owner, he was now joining us for management, and he made this comment, and he said, I have so much homes in different parts of the world.
Wow.
And then when I get to them, everything's disconnected. There's no light, there's no Wi-Fi.
That would
So
never
I just
happen on
need
Team
a
Blue Sky.
manager.
Never.
I just need someone to manage the process and help me so that when I get to my property, it's like, I'm a guest at my own house.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's not only bills. I mean, it must be very frustrating for an owner to arrive and the lights are out. There's just no lights in a particular room, or the fan is not working, or they turn on the hot water, it's not running, or the AC. We go in there every week or do preventative maintenance. So we'll make sure everything is working.
Everything is done.
And and we'll also we have access to housekeeping staff, the staff that they need. If they don't actually have their own staff, because some of them don't, we have a whole
So
pool.
some houses have their own staff.
Some people have permanent
Permanent
staff,
staff,
even if they're owner use only, and that staff will come in. They're on a contract.
Okay,
We pay
okay.
the staff through property management for them. But then in the event that they don't have, somebody doesn't have staff, or a staff member
Holidays or
falls
something,
sick or
yeah.
go on holiday, we have access to a whole pool of temporary staff that we can put in. And that's everybody, not just the housekeeper, the gardener, the chef, the butler, anybody
Cooks.
you need.
So it seems like an owner can move from one type of management agreement to another pretty seamlessly.
Absolutely. I mean, there are many owners that are renting long term and they decide, you know what, I really want to use this house a bit more often for myself, but I don't want to leave it. So they will transition to actually a short term basis.
Okay.
So then they block it for when they want to use it. So it's receiving income, but it's also giving them a home.
So what are the types of people who generally needs a property manager? Because listening to you just now, one of your owners says he manages his properties around the world, but then he gets to the destination and then the utilities or something has gone dodgy. So who typically needs a property manager? Using his case, how would you convince a new homeowner you need to have a property manager and it needs to be us?
Well, we are available 24 hours. So we have...
You literally mean 24 hours.
I literally
we are
mean
literally available 24 hours.
Available 24 hours. So we have an on-call phone. So basically, if anything happens to your property, we can then come no matter what time it is, and we can check it out, investigate, and then obviously provide a solution at the time. Because we have 24-hour contractors as well who would help us with any issues that we have at that time. Also, if you are looking to do a short-term rental, you have a disgruntled guest, say the refrigerator is not working, you are all in another country, we can go there and replace the fridge and get that process done seamless without interrupting the guests, and also provide a level of comfort for the guests so that they are not disgruntled or ask for compensation.
Well, so who has a story about having to move a guest or a short-term situation? Who has a really good one?
Anna has a good one. She has a good one.
So basically,
middle of the night situation.
So basically, these guests called. They had already checked in already, and when they got to the door, it did not open. They turned the key, it would not open.
Wow.
So then we came out. We tried to see if we could.
We being you came out?
The property manager.
And what time of the day is this?
That was 2:00 in the morning.
Wow.
So we came out and we tried to help them to get the door open. Obviously, we had a contractor at the moment who was willing to assist us, but nothing worked.
You mean you're putting in the key and it's not
Nothing
turning?
worked.
Wow.
And at that time, you have to be very, very careful because you don't want to make too much noise because you have other neighbors and other guests, so you don't want to disturb them. So then, obviously, we had to call our reservations on call, and we do have that service where we have reservations and concierge on call. So then we had to call our reservations on call to see if there was a room available that we can transition these guests to, just so that they're not disrupted for that night. And then we obviously would have escorted the guests in our vehicle and took them to the other property and checked them in and then deal with the situation the next day. So we handle all of those things.
Wow. Exciting. Do you have one, Pam?
Not quite as much. Mine are quite different. When it deals with owners and stuff. Somebody going to a restaurant and coming back drunk. Can't find the keys because they're in the rental car. They've come in a taxi and having to come out and rescue them.
Yes.
Yeah, we do some.
Yes.
Property management is not property management.
So that's not the typical way we look for work, is it? No, it's not.
Sometimes we have to actually manage
many situations.
Our owners too.
Our owners as well.
And then there's also situations, for instance, like if the guests the staff call in sick,
yes,
we then have to step in and we have to manage that process to get it ready for the same day. So then we have to go into our pool of
this is where the TC management staff comes in.
Correct.
Because at TC management, we can provide every level of service that you want, whether it's a butler, a chef, a cook, a housekeeper, gardener, we can do it. So it also helps to know this.
Yes. And also the biggest thing, you don't want to forget to pay your bill. So
Yes.
we manage that process as well, where we pay
Utilities.
utility bills.
Well, it's utilities, it's staff, it's everything, from land tax to whatever, insurance, making sure that the houses are insured and that those bills are paid on time. They're a yearly process. We have a really great support accounting team that helps us, because we can't do this as property managers. We can't do this alone either.
No. So we've kind of skimmed the benefits of having a property manager. But I heard you going a bit deeper into land tax.
Yeah, and the tax comes out every year religiously.
And we also have an owner statement where the owner is able to go onto the portal and see their expenses, as well as they can pull out a copy of each bill that we sign off on, so they can look through and
Transparency.
see how we're spending their money, and their income that's coming in too from the rental properties. All of that we have on a statement, so they can pull it up at any time. So it's not in a specific time frame, but anytime they can pull up their monthly statements.
Excellent. So Pam, walk us through some more benefits of having a property manager. We know that you do late night call outs, you get contractors, you run around with keys. I understand that. But help us understand the back end of what makes us stand out, or what the extra service that we give.
I think there's, again, it goes back to managing a property in which you would manage it for yourself if it was your own home. So the things that we run through and we have schedules for are like the preventative maintenance, things that we can avoid happening.
Okay.
So especially with the short-term rent, well, any short or long or owner use, air conditioned units, I certainly get them serviced twice a year. Things like grease traps, depending on how much the house is used, how much is cooking and whatnot, you can schedule them up to 4 times a year. But avoiding issues when they're guests in, or when you don't want your owner to arrive and find his grease trap is smelling awful. So we have these, and it's all a schedule. We keep preventative logs, and it's for everything, and including things like weekly reading of water meters. You don't know you have a leak unless you read your meter, and you don't need to have a $10,000 water bill when the bill arrives. You want to be able to prevent that. Or if you get to a property and you read the meter and you see it's looking a little excessive, we do checks. We walk through the properties, check the toilets, check everything. And then for me, I let my owner know that I figure out that we have a problem and I'm trying to assess it, so that it's kind of like, so this is not a shock. So if they get a bigger bill than regular, at least they know, and we're addressing it. Sometimes it can be a swimming pool that's leaking. Things that are hidden from you. It's not obvious. So that's kind of what we do in our weekly, monthly, and then yearly.
We also provide inventories. So we would do inventories, which is basically a list of all the contents that is within the property. So that, for instance, if you have a long-term tenant checking out, you can match that inventory that you did at the beginning of the tenancy. And then we can be able to see what was damaged, what needs to be replaced, what will be at the tenant, what will be at the owner. So it's just basically a guide that we use to help protect the owner's property.
So listening to that, it sounds like I know that we do audits, so maybe you want to explain audits, because that will give the owner an idea when it's time to repair a roof. Everything has a shelf life. Everything will have an end of use. So you probably want to talk about how you guide an owner to know, well, fridge has been giving problems, I spent $10 each month, and we could really buy a new one. Pam, you want to hit that one?
Those are huge. I mean, if you keep spending money on a particular appliance, it comes a point where there's no point spending it. So what we do is we get quotes. Your washing machine is broken down. We get, we bring in a technician. He tells us it's going to cost $600 to fix it, and we know that a new one is $12. You go back to the owner and say, look, this is really, it's 7 years old. There's no point. I suggest you, but it's up to them. I mean, they can say, no, let's fix it, let's keep it going. Everybody has their own reasons for doing that, but we suggest you change it out, whatever. And again, we have all the technicians. Usually they know that we give them a lot of business, so they come when we call, which is kind of nice.
Yes.
If you're a regular homeowner, they may not come to.
So exactly, because we have the relationship.
We have a
How many
relationship.
vendors do you think we have? How many contractors?
Oh my gosh.
Quite a few that would
Quite
come
a
out
few.
and,
We have
and they will help
quite a
us at the
few.
drop of a hat.
Yes. So basically, when we do an audit is basically an inspection of the home. So the inspection
From top to bottom.
From top to bottom. So we inspect everything you could think about in that home. We would take pictures. We then would go and see the areas that need addressing urgently, and provide, I would say, 3 comparative quotes, because we want to make sure that the owner has the best possible quote and the best possible idea to say whether, should I go with this guy because
And the way
he has listed out
everything.
clearly
Yeah.
to fix everything. So we generally handle everything. We come to us.
So that would also include things like a roof, because I know that roof. I've had a roof leak. I had a roof leak that gave me no end of grief to get it sorted, and I made a recommendation in year 5 to have the roof changed, and of course the homeowner didn't want to. But having leaks that were annoying to the guests, then it became annoying to them.
Yeah.
They said, yes, we can close the house for 6 months or 3 months to end the period and we can get it sorted. So we also want to say that a lot of our work is not only preventative, but some of it is mostly forward thinking as well, where you can guide an owner how to schedule specific changes that need to be done. So we do take over properties from homeowners. Sometimes we take over from another management company, and there's so many SOPs that we have to follow as a matter of course, as a matter of due diligence, to make sure that the owner's interests are always protected. So we've talked about managing these lovely homes from owners, but from time to time we do take some over from another property management company. And at BSL, we are mandated almost. We have very strict SOPs to follow and due diligence to make sure that we check to ensure that the owner's interests are always protected. So walk us through receiving a home, taking over a home from another management company.
Okay.
And what that looked like for you.
Yes, I had a challenging one recently, and I took this property over from another company, and I went in with another manager, and we went and had a look at it, and I didn't even know where to start. So
oh my God.
Anyway, so I had a number of phone calls with the owner to try and understand what their reasoning was for owning the house, or what their thoughts are going forward. It had been rented long term, and it was through COVID and whatnot, so nothing was done, no maintenance or anything was done with this property. So in talking to him, he had a very small budget to try and make this house look decent, and he thought that he would do it on short-term rental. So a very small budget, and the first thing I did was I actually got sales to come in and give me an idea of the value of the property, to help the owner understand where we're going with this. And anyway, I had to start with the roof. We had to take away 2021 ash fall off of the roof. And this is 2024. So you can understand what my dilemma was. Every time it rained, the ash went in the swimming pool. It was a mess. Anyway, I took the small budget that he had given me. I repainted, I cleaned the house first of all, repainted the entire interior. I didn't touch the exterior, all the interior. I then had to go and furnish it. So it needed all new furniture. It was fun, don't get me wrong. It was fun. And
you
but I
sourced
did
everything locally?
Yeah.
And what was your window to have this house turned around?
Short. I mean, I got it in October, and the owner himself was coming in January. So, and don't forget, we've got Christmas to roll through. So I did it, and I furnished it as good as I could with the budget I had. He came. They loved it, but again, his affinity to Barbados was not there,
Right?
And he decided to sell it, and so I called back in sales again because I, asked what was the house valued at. They upped it $1 million.
Wow!
I'm allowed to say, and the first person who saw it bought it.
Nice.
And I'm now in the transition.
Well done.
We actually put a couple of rentals in it. which were great.
That's
they
fabulous.
loved it.
Yeah.
And I've met the new owners now, and they want us to continue.
Well done.
So yeah,
Well
I'm
done.
very excited to continue with them
Well
as
done.
well.
So you got to do a little bit of interior
I
decorating.
got interior, yeah, it was
Roof
everything.
works, pool
and,
works,
and
fabulous.
a little bit of project management, and it was. I must admit, I had some sleepless nights.
So suffice to say, no 2 days are ever the same in this job.
That's one of the things that I think we have here to chat about. What do we love about our jobs?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love about this job.
No 2 days are the same.
You wake up all morning and you think, I really don't have anything to do today. All my houses are looked
Admin,
after.
yeah, you're going to do
I'm fine."
admin today.
And then, boom, you get a
Thunderstorm
phone
comes
call.
down and everything goes
you get
wacky.
housekeeper calls, so Pam, the sink is flooding the whole kitchen. I'm like, and everything takes into action.
It's the excitement.
I'm trying to think. Oh, I had one. We were having this event at the owner's house. I was doing the event planning management, another hat that we wear. And I'm getting dressed because I want to transition from work clothes to looking all glamorous. I get a call. The toilets are overflowing. I'm thinking, when you say overflowing, what? You mean she says, ma'am, water rising up everywhere. I'm like, oh my God. So let me just finish the face. Calm down. I said, well, who do I call? And guests are coming within half of an hour. She said, nothing can be done. I called my mom, and I said, we would have to pump. You can't pump us now. What we did, I got 2 additional staff to come over from our TC pool, and they all had buckets and mops. And no one was allowed to flush the toilets in a particular area. We pretended that, they were used. They were not in use. They just couldn't be used. But we got through.
Yeah.
We did get through. A little spillage came. So, yeah, that was a crazy time for me. Talk to me about that. Other preventative maintenance that we didn't touch on.
Well, the main thing, of course, we're about to go into hurricane season. So as houses become emptied, like owners are like the owner use houses. I have one this weekend. They're leaving. And I do things right off the bat. I know it's not even May, but they're not coming back for a good few months, and I don't want to be caught with a hurricane or a bad weather or whatever. So there are lots of little things, bringing in all the umbrellas, all the loungers and stuff. We pull them all in. Anything that can be a missile in a hurricane comes in. Right down to things like we have pendant chandeliers out on the outside on the patios.
Bring those in.
We tie them off. We actually have special ties that we tie them off, and we do it every year. That particular house has staff in it. However, when we have a hurricane, you have to realize that the staff have to take care of themselves too.
First, yes.
And I know that if I have a house like that I can secure it, then the staff can stay and secure their own home before coming to secure somebody else's home.
Yeah, that's
so
very
it gives
important.
it allows you to sleep at night.
Yeah.
If there's something coming, especially if it catches us quickly.
Yeah,
Like
we-
years
we-
ago, we had Thomas that caught us.
What are
so
some?
quick.
Let's not talk about Thomas. That's a whole nightmare. What are some of the other things that we do in preparing for this hurricane season?
Yes, so we check all the gutters as well. Sometimes
Above and below ground.
Above and below ground. Because some properties have a lot of trees, and leaves tend to go in the gutters, and then it blocks, and then it causes flooding. So we check for that. We also would put flashlights in the properties just in case there's a power cut. The guests would have flashlights and batteries and everything.
And similarly, we would top up generators with diesel.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
important. Service the generators.
Service,
Most of them that have big generators will have a service contract, and that's also part of our preventative thing, making sure they have diesel or not. But cutting trees, especially the properties. We have quite a lot of properties within like the Sandy Lane area and stuff that have those big mahoganies.
Yeah. There was a hurricane. There wasn't Thomas. After Thomas, where most of the trees they fell.
Yeah.
$14,000 to cut a tree.
Yeah.
Now, it's not a tree. It was a mahogany, something I would have cut before.
Yeah.
So you can do all the cut and trim that you want when Mother Nature is ready.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
we also provide the standbys. You put them in
Yes.
place just in case the water comes in the property. They will be there to kind of
There's certain
safeguard.
properties that are prone,
Yes.
and you have to
You
do
have
that.
to
You
put
put
them
the
down.
sandbags and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you look at us and you think this job is all a very pretty and a very glorified caretaker job. It is absolutely not. We take pride in our company. We take pride in our parents. We interface with vendors. We go to the stores. We meet with owners. And you want to always have that certain level of professional look. So, to be fair, we do get a lot of additional training to help us execute our jobs properly.
Yeah.
Anna, you want to talk about the various types of training that we get during the year?
Yes, so we basically do pool and safety training, as well as we do CPR training in case there's an emergency at property. You need to go and help someone, might save a life.
And the staff at the properties
And the staff
too.
at the properties also do training as well. We do housekeeping. We also do fire extinguisher checks.
Yeah, the health and safety, yeah.
And we've
Smoke
now been trained
detectors.
to how to use them.
Yes.
It's one thing
And
to
how to
see
use
them
them.
there.
We don't know.
Half of us didn't know how to
yeah.
use them. Now we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we cover everything. We're basically...
And the first aid, of course, that's done.
Yes, the first aid,
Yeah.
CPR training.
I've been in this job for almost 10 years and I absolutely love property management. Like Pam said earlier, I think what makes it exciting for me is no 2 days are the same. I came from an aviation background where no hour was the same or no minute was the same. I love that too. But transitioning to property management is a different set of levels, different set of stressors. Your timelines may not be a 45-minute flight. It might be 1 week or 1 day or 1 hour to get something done. So why do you love property management? Other than the flexibility or the excitement of, I don't know, having it rain in the middle of a check-in?
I just, I enjoy all my owners. I've created relationship with them. You get to meet most fascinating people. They're different. They're from different walks of life, different abilities, wealth abilities.
True.
They're just personalities are different, and I enjoy that. It's nothing like sitting down and actually with an owner and hearing where they've come from and how they've got here.
Yeah.
And I find that exciting.
That for me is a little humbling
I love
sometimes
that.
too.
I love that.
What about you, Anna? What
Yes,
do you
so
like most about being a property
I generally
manager?
just love problem solving. Like that is one of my strengths. And I think with this job, you really need to be a good problem solver. You have to be able to determine when the washing machine goes down. Take the stuff to the laundry, don't leave it there, to be soiled. And you just gotta be quick on your feet, which that's one of my...
It's one of your strengths.
Yes.
You learn so much. I mean,
Yeah,
when I
absolutely.
first, started, I so many things you didn't know, and then you're hit with, like I said earlier, a huge water bill, and you've got a process of elimination, and then you figure out it's a pool. I mean, you don't know how to use.
Oh, yes,
you
I
don't know how to figure
remember.
out a swimming
Yeah.
pool.
Sometimes one of our colleagues, he couldn't figure out where this leak was, but there was a huge patch of green grass, verdant green grass. It was like a ding ding moment. We should have thought of that, dug it up, and there it was. So, yeah, every day is really not straightforward. So, on the flip side, what do you like worse? What is the one thing that makes you go tap, tap, tap? Anna, you first.
I would say sometimes that if you can't get something figured out at the moment, it's very stressful. But then you call we have a big team of property management. So we call our colleagues and we help each other.
Or we hit up that WhatsApp group.
Yes, we are very big
God bless WhatsApp.
being a team, players with one another.
Yeah.
And I really love that about the team. I must say, any hour you could put, I need a locksmith. There's a property
someone will
manager,
respond,
Six
yeah.
people are going to answer you.
Yeah.
Yes. So anything that we have where we don't experience, one of
We
our
do have that
colleagues
support.
has experience, and that really helps us, and it makes your day, to know that you have somebody to lean on
Absolutely.
and be able to guide you along the way, because it's 7 years to me the job and it's still learning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Still
you
I
learning.
think
never
that's a
stop
good
learning.
thing that you
Yes.
never stop learning. If
You
you come
never
into this
stop
job
learning.
thinking you've
Yes.
already failed. You don't know.
Yeah.
Because Pam has been here a while
11,
and we're all still learning. And that's
Yeah.
the wonderful thing about this job. It gives you the opportunity to learn, and you do so from a position of strength. So if we make a mistake, if we trip up, it becomes everyone's
Yes.
mistake. So we'll know that we've all learned. We have our property management meetings. As a matter of fact, there's one this afternoon where we will come on and we will talk about what have you learned in the
Yeah.
last month? What do you
Yeah.
want to share with
Lessons
the team?
learned.
That lessons learned. That
Lessons
allows us
learned.
to grow and
Yeah.
be stronger and literally be there for each other.
Yeah.
What I don't like, I don't know. I can't think there's anything I don't like. I know my weaknesses, and my weaknesses are the IT.
You don't know
IT
how to
runs
say
away.
no,
I don't know
Pam.
how to say no.
Don't
I
know
say
how
yes
to
to
say
everything.
no.
I know.
Yeah.
That's definitely that's me. But I think that's part of our job too. I mean,
Yeah.
although you say that, and
Yeah.
I am very weak in saying no. I mean, our whole goal is to make people happy.
Yes.
And that's why they keep coming back. That's why when you have an owner, they usually don't want you to leave. They don't want you to go on holiday. They don't want
They don't.
Why are you going on holiday?
Yeah.
Who's going to manage my house, you know?
Yeah.
But we do have a great support network here.
We do.
And I always tell my owners, don't worry. I know that the person I'm leaving in charge of your
Will do a
house is going
fabulous
to
job.
treat it
Yeah.
exactly like
Yeah.
me. Don't
Yeah.
worry. You know, and
I would say for me, what I don't like about the job is because I'm almost anal. In that, well, I am anal, not I am there, but I can't go to bed unless I've checked all my emails. I can't go to bed unless I've set up my day for the next day. And over time, I've learned not to measure my success of the day by what I've checked off, but what I've actually accomplished. So you might set yourself, like Pam said, all these wonderful things to do, and then you're hit with something else and you can't get them done and you feel like a failure. And for me, with my personality, it bothers me. So I've adjusted. I now measure my definition of success for that day. What have you really finished for that day? You got a leak and you fixed it, but you didn't do the 10 other things. So that's what I've learned to do to kind of better manage when things don't go the way I want to go.
Yeah. And then sometimes what supplements that is when your owners compliment you or your job,
Yes.
or they mention to your manager, but you know, she does a fantastic. That really makes my day. So sometimes you might be having the worst
Yes.
day,
Yeah.
and then those small things just be like,
It does
I
make
think
you
I know
feel
what we're
good.
doing.
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, that's what it is for me.
So I hope that we have really piqued your interest in property management and what we do. And I hope you want to work with us. Find us on social media or on our website. Anna,
BlueSkyLuxury.com.
there you go. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Terra Talks. I'm Diana. I've had today Anna and Pam. Thank you so much and see you next time.